you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
I'm Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, the Iron Lady sings, and that makes it official. Welcome to the show. As always, for 16 years and over 2300 episodes, we bring you the Chris Voss Show with all the most wonderful, brilliant minds in the world. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTokity, and all those crazy places on the internet you can find. As always, the funnest people on the show, and we're going to get some laughs today. We've got a great comedian on. His newest book is out. It's called Running the Light by Sam Tallent, and actually comes out March 25th, 2025. It's close enough, right? You can pre-order the book. Sam, welcome to the show. How are you?
Chris Voss, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Congrats on your long time success.
Yeah, it's it's all community service, a judge appointed. So
I'm just glad that you got away with the crime and you could do the time as well. Yes.
Do the time if you can do the crime, or one of those two.
Where are you?
In Utah, actually. Where are you?
I'm in Detroit. Isn't this fun that we don't have to be where they said we had to be?
Yeah, because Detroit's cold as fuck. So.
Yeah, Utah's kind of like Colorado. You guys have a lot of sunshine.
Yeah, a lot of snow, too. Give me your .coms. Where do you want people to find you on the interwebs? SamTallent.com, TALLENT.com. Yes. So give us a 30,000 overview. What's inside your new book?
This book, I published it in 2020, and as COVID hit, and I didn't have any dates for stand-up. I do stand-up comedy is what I do. And when COVID hit, all my dates evaporated. So I had this novel that I was shopping around, and I put it out myself. I self-published it, and now 4 years later, after it sold, a lot of, unheralded success is what I like to call it. And it sold a bunch of copies, and now Random House picked it up, and they're reissuing it in trade paperback in all available bookstores nationwide and in Canada.
Oh, and Canada too. Along with some, do they tariff it? I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I think they print it up there. I like Canada. I don't know. I feel like you might be anti-Canada, but I'm going to say I like Canada.
It's January 2025, and I make that note for that joke because people watch YouTube they've been watching our YouTubes for 18 years, so they watch 10 years from now, and they're like, what is he talking about? But no, I'm pro-Canada. I love Canada.
I'll be brave. I'll say it. I think Canada's good.
I love Canada. I'm a big Rush fan. I'm a big Second City comedy fan.
Yeah, Rush.
Yeah, I'm a huge Rush fan.
Dude, do you like The Who?
I love The Who, yeah.
Who's a better drummer, though? Keith Moon?
You got to give it to Keith Moon.
Yes, you do.
No, it's, is it Keith Moon or is it Bongo from Led Zeppelin? No,
Bonham's Led Zeppelin. Keith Moon's The Who.
I can't remember which one's the better one.
Keith Moon's the best one of all time. I would
agree with you. He was fucking crazy.
He didn't have a hi-hat. He went mental back there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's there's one that Neil Peart said is the best, and it was either the Led Zeppelin guy or Keith Moon. And
I can't see that Neil character who loved following all the rules behind the drum kit having much enthusiasm for Keith Moon's anarchy back there.
Oh yeah, Keith Moon was insane. I just watched something on him a little while ago.
He was unwell. He drove a car into a pool.
Yeah, it might have been the drugs, but no, I think they said he might have been on the spectrum. I think he was kooky, man. I think that was the term back then. He was whacked out. He was whacked out.
Yeah, he was crazed.
So give us a rundown of what's inside the book. Tell us about the characters and what brought the.
Well, there's about 65,000 words. Most of them are different, and I've arranged them into an order that will both elicit laughter and a heavy heart. It's about. I'm sorry, dude. I just woke up. It's about an old road dog who's tortured by drug addiction and alcohol addiction. I say, what's the difference? I think alcohol's a drug, but hey, science hasn't caught up with that. Yeah. And he's on the road for 7 days in the Southwest, and he's just getting blasted and having three-ways in bathrooms.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That sounds suffering.
But luckily, it's there's a baby changing table involved, but no baby. I want to be explicit in that they're all adults.
It's probably
one of them might be wearing a diaper. Anyway, he has to kind of confront his past, and it's bleak, and it's not illusory. Someone described it as illusory, which means as an illusion, and I think it's the most like real fucking thing there is. So. Yeah, if you want like a book that has a couple laughs and then just a real stark look at a truly broken man, this is the novel for you. It's a male beach read, Chris.
It's a male beach read. That's a first because we have a lot of beach read novelists on the show, and they're mostly made for the.
They're really. I bet it's fun to make fun of those people and then realize they live in a helicopter. Like they're so rich. Who cares? Yeah, they're in their ivory tower that they've erected.
Yeah. So, what on the character basis of the people in it? Is there any little bit of your journey through stand-up comedy in this, or maybe some of the people you ran into that you built into the character?
Oh yeah, I mean, I started doing stand-up in 2006 in Denver, Colorado, and we were all over the mountain states. Like we had that whole territory. I was on the road very early with people who would show up to the gig in Sheridan, Wyoming, and the first thing they would do would be to walk into the kitchen and ask for cocaine. And then so they spend their whole check on cocaine, which means then, you're opening, you're featuring, you're making $100. And yes, you're splitting gas because that's what comics do. It doesn't matter the headliner's making $500. Of course, I'll split gas. But then their money's gone because there was, God forbid, there's a Keno machine in the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it was just, there was a lot of men and women that I had the pleasure of opening for who I've amalgamated into this book. There's definitely touches of Ron White, Doug Stanhope, and then just a bunch of people who died at a rest stop.
Shit.
Yeah, man. It's gnarly. People are like, your book's so funny. And I'm like, I think it's a horror story. It was easy to write because it was everything I was afraid of turning into.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
And so that's kind of an interesting component where, you were afraid of turning into it. Were you, I've lived in Vegas for, 20, 25 years now. And so I dealt with a lot of addiction. I've seen the people that, like you're talking about, it goes up their nose. They lose it in gambling. Mm-hmm. They always have, they're like, I have a system of gambling. You don't understand. I have a system and it works. Yeah. And they're like, how come you always want to borrow money from me?
It's part of the system. That's pretty much the crux of the system is to spend someone else's money on the felt.
That explains what's going on here.
Yeah.
I just figured it out.
Big part of the system is making sure you send money to your secret family in Pahrump once a month, I lived in Vegas for 2 years, man. It was gnarly.
The gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to be careful dating too. Like I've had friends that have dated chicks that are addicts, gambling addicts, and one day they're just like, Chris, she got a hold of my checking account, cleaned out my bank account and my credit cards, and I'm like, dude, I told you to get away from. You got to avoid those. You got to avoid certain people in Vegas, otherwise you're just loaning them money like all the time and. And if they come over to your house, you're like, hey, does anybody see my statue? Or my
PCR? Where's my laptop? There's a lot of crafty operators in Las Vegas, and it's very easy to walk in and be fleeced like the rube you hope you aren't. Yeah.
I had a guy come over that I didn't know had a heroin addiction. He seemed like a nice guy. And
they always do. They're very sleepy. They're very docile.
Yeah. My DVD player disappeared. There was this thin little DVD player on a stack of components. I was like, wait, where did my DVD player go?
How else was he supposed to watch all those Just Shoot Me DVDs that he?
Well, plus he went and this is back. Yeah, he went and I guess he pawned it for some heroin or something.
Hey, is there anything else better to pawn it for?
Yeah, not really. I guess I don't know.
I mean, if you're gonna go into your friend's house and rob him, you better be getting heroin with the fruits of that labor.
Be getting something, yeah. For my shit.
At least the copper wire remained in your walls. That's big.
That's good. Yeah. It's always that copper wire. In fact, after I moved to California for a few years, the owner was supposed to come pick up the key, and they given me such a hard time. They're like, "Are you moved yet? Are you moved yet?" I'm like, "I'm moving, but we said the end of the month, so we're fine. Calm the fuck down." And so I left the key in the power box. And I guess a bunch of this is during the squatter era where we were still in the 2008, 2011, 2010 crisis of squatters everywhere.
Oh, I know. I squatted a couple times myself.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. I squatted this morning after some coffee.
Watch out. Watch out. Boss man.
Yeah. And they came in, and so the squatters saw all the garbage out front because I'd moved, and I guess they either found the key in the power box or what they would do back then, because this is back when Vegas was like a ghost town after 2008 crisis, and what they do is run a wire over the top of the garage door, and they'd find the red emergency pole.
Oh yeah.
They pull it, and then they have access to the house. So they got in the house, and they took the what was it? They took the water heater and the oven and a few other things. But yeah, they took the water heater probably and I was like, why would someone steal a water heater? And they go,
I think they were training for a strongman competition.
Yeah, probably that too.
Yeah, they were.
But I was like, I never heard of anyone stealing a water heater, and they're like, yeah, it has copper in it, Chris. And I'm like, oh, whatever. But they squatted in the house for. The idiot owner said, would give me a hard time to get the key. And then when I finally told them that there's the key, they waited 2 weeks to go up there. In the meantime, this guy squatted the house. And they stripped everything of copper and shit.
And that sounds bad, but imagine how great that 2 weeks was for that desperate drug addict.
Oh, yeah.
That had to be. He was living high on the hog.
He didn't even send me a Christmas card, goddammit.
Well, see?
This is not those crackheads. Anyway, so tell us about, how did you get into comedy? How did you grow up? Comedians are sometimes, they're solving some issues from childhood and stuff. Did you grow up with any trauma? Did you grow up with any, a lot of comedians seem to have, they kind of, they're solving problems from their past. Did you have any of that? How'd you grow up?
No, I think that's like a very romantic notion that comedians put upon the audience because they want to. I think a lot of comics feel bad for the fact that they work 2 hours a day and make way too much money. So they're like, no, someone touched me at a bus station. And it's like, yeah, but you had an eyelash on your cheek. He was trying to be helpful. I had zero trauma. I mean, my dad liked a couple cold ones,
Yeah.
But hey, it was rural Colorado in the early 90s. Who wasn't cracking a Red Dog when they were picking their kids up from school?
That's true.
Yeah, you need a tall boy, Yeah. And, my mom, she had some polarity issues, but I think that I got way too much love. I think everyone was just like, hey, you're the funniest little kid. Look how fat you are. My God, he's so entertaining. And then I think that I've been trying to fill up this giant jug of love that they gave me at an early age.
Oh, wow.
So if anything, I was touched by too many angels.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate, man.
I know. Hey, those angels have curious fingers,
Do they really?
I don't know. I was never molested. I want to go on record. But if I was, I'd probably have a Netflix special. So the grass is always greener.
Yeah.
No, dude, I had no trauma. I apologize.
Oh, that's unfortunate. So is that the whole journey then? That's
pretty much.
Anticlimactic.
There's no. Yeah, I grew up in a town of 700 people on the eastern plains of Colorado. I was heavily involved in sports, and my civic duty as a young student. I was. I mean, I think maybe hallucinogens helped me want to become creative in that way because. The first time I took acid, I was at a rodeo when I was 13 years old.
13, dropping acid at a rodeo.
Well, I knew my life was going to change forever when that clown brought me in his barrel. Anyway, so yeah, no, I had a fun time on the plains, just being a little boy and growing up. And then I moved to Denver and started stand up when I was 18, and it's been fruitful. I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. That's unfortunate that you weren't scarred more as a child. And
it'd be better for the clip of the show.
Yeah.
If you could put, Sam Tallent grew up in a spider cage and cigarettes were being put out on him all the time. That'd be better for the 1 minute engagement.
Deacon at some church. Anyway,
we had a lot of those guys.
Did you?
A lot of Mormons where I grew up.
Oh yeah, Mormons will do it too. Yeah,
I'm pro Mormon, dude. They're fun.
Pro Mormon.
Yeah. Here's the thing about the Mormon churches in Colorado is all of the churches have a carpeted basketball court in the basement.
Carpeted?
Yeah, man. So when you're a little fat 11-year-old boy and you're bouncing on carpet, it's like you feel like Jumpman. It's like you're Jordan,
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, the Mormons I knew were fun, and boy, when their daughters became 15 years old, all bets were off.
Oh, that's
yeah.
This sounds like my experience in Utah.
You know about it.
Utah. Yeah. I think about 50% of the women we dated had someone had touched them.
Well, I'm not saying the Mormons were touching the kids. I'm just saying that their daughters were very curious to the ways of the English.
The ways of the English. The ways of the thing. Any future novels coming out? Anything else you're working on? Maybe taking some of the characters into another book, or how are you doing there?
No, I don't want to write this guy anymore. He haunts me. But yeah.
You have a book on it that haunts you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean, I put all my great fears into one novel.
God damn, dude.
Yeah, but no, so Random House, they bought this book, and then they also bought my next novel, and I have to have it done by July 1st. And it's about a homosexual hitman in Paris doing one last job. One last
hit job or one last blow job?
I hope that he gets at least one more mouth copulation on his way out. What?
Mouth copulation?
I said I couldn't swear. So
no, but I mean, yeah, okay. It's like having Einstein on the show with you, a mouth copulation. I don't even know what that was.
It's so funny when you like do a clean show and they're like, okay, you can't say blowjob. So then you're like, and then I ejaculated in her mouth. And they're like, whoa. And you're like, I didn't say the phrase. It's a clever workaround. I used my vocabulary.
Use your vocabulary.
Yeah. And they're like, you should have just said blowjob. That would have been less horrific. That wouldn't have haunted us at night when we go to shut our eyes. But yeah, I want my next book to just be, I really want it to be an explosive success. So then I don't know, not work 50 weekends a year doing stand-up anymore.
How is stand-up these days for the business end of it, for, making money and surviving and stuff? Are there too many comedians out there, or are there not enough?
There's probably enough. I don't think anyone's clamoring for more stand. I think more, teachers and nurses would probably be more beneficial.
We need more nurses, that's for sure.
Yeah, they should make every stand-up after 10 years do 10 minutes in front of like an independent audit. And if more than 50% of the room doesn't laugh, then they should just get like a teaching certificate. I think that should be helpful.
A teaching certificate?
Yeah.
I mean, at least the kids will be entertained.
You'd think so, but the kids are.
Yeah, that kids.
I think that right now it seems to be a bit of I'm making a lot of hay while the sun shines, but it's not what you make, it's what you save, as the great Chris Benoit said. Benoit. Yeah, he was very fiscally conservative. He was a bit more adventurous in his other walks of life.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that stand-up's in a very good place, and it's so big that it's more boutique. So you can find the exact kind of stand-up that suits your needs. Mm-hmm. Whereas like when I was a boy watching stand-up, it was just whatever was on the Comedy Central half hours, and then Letterman and Conan. Like it was a lot smaller, and you didn't have the internet yet. But now that the internet's out there, like you can find like the exact kind of person that represents your sense of humor. And then you can also get on there, and if someone doesn't make you laugh, you can call them, a fat homosexual as much as you want.
Oh,
yeah. You should go to my YouTube, everyone. Sam Tallent on YouTube, and check the comments. A lot of nice creative things being said in there.
Yeah, that's YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm used to that after 18 years. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there's just 1,000 chimps with 1,000 typewriters, and a lot of the typewriters have 5 letters worn out.
And it's usually sticky because they can't find women.
They love to masturbate.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been on YouTube for 18 years. I love when they write me and they go, because a lot of my videos I don't show up in because I have radio face, as you can tell.
I think you're quite handsome, and I think that shirt fits you well.
Don't come on to me, buddy. You're not my type.
What if I was? Wouldn't that be crazy?
I don't know.
If you were sitting there just staring through your screen, completely enamored and rock hard at me? If I unlocked the door in you that you didn't know you had?
I didn't say I'm not rock hard, right?
Well, hey, I don't know who's sponsoring the show, but that supplement's working.
Yeah. By the way, folks, tune into Viagra. Available, sponsored the show. Anyway.
Hey, the Chris Voss Show brought to you by Rhino Horn, everyone. It's tough to get for a reason.
It's illegal for a reason.
Yeah.
It sounds like that Panther cologne from Anchorman. It works 60% of the time. It works 100% of the time or something.
Dude, you know what I miss is the days when you could just quote Anchorman in Old School and everyone thought you were the funniest person alive. Now I have to come up with, my own content. But in high school, you'd say, "You're my boy, Blue," and like women would throw their panties at you.
Really?
No, of course not. They would. I worked at the laundry, so I was pushing the cart down the halls.
I see what you said up there. Gotta love it, Sam. Anything in the future you want to plug? Any future dates of appearances as you two are about?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can people find them on your website?
Yeah, the website samtallent.com. You can pre-order the book. That'd be huge. And also, I have a cool travel show on YouTube called Sam Tallent's Wide World. We've done Japan, we've done Paris, and now we're doing Eastern Colorado. Watch that if you enjoy humorous travel content.
I'm going to subscribe to your channel. Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast?
No, that's my special. My special's on Matt and Shane. Shout out Shane Gillis, Matt McCusker for platforming me. But
okay.
Sam Tallent on YouTube is the channel. Yeah, that's what all the kids are talking about, the Sam Tallent channel.
The kids love that.
Do you have like huge markets that you know about specifically where I could plug dates?
Just the U.S. market is our biggest market, and then we're
man.
So if you want to, you plug dates. I mean, I see
Cleveland, Ohio this weekend. Portland, Oregon coming up. We've got Toledo, Ohio. I'm doing Cleveland and Toledo back-to-back weekends. Those are for sure separate markets. That's a great booking. Mm-hmm. And then Omaha, Iowa City. Hell, I'm going to Europe. I'm going to Australia. Really? SamTallent.com.
We had a comedian on.
Name names.
I'd have to pull it up. I'm horrible with names. I'm great at faces. I'll try and find it here. But he evidently has a really good comedy market down there in Australia.
Oh, it's huge, dude. It rules. They're like us. I feel like we really control their idea of what stand-up is still. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they're just like the best comedy crowds. They don't get mad about anything. They know how to drink without, throwing a bottle at your head. They're fun people.
I have to figure out who that was.
Was it Eddie Ift?
It was Clay McMath.
See, that's a comic I've never heard of before.
Yeah. And he's I think he goes up into England. I think he comes to the States, but I believe he's based in Adelaide, South Australia.
Dude, love it down there.
And he was telling me they got quite the circuit down there in Australia.
Adelaide's fun. It's the only free city down there. It wasn't founded by prisoners. So it was founded by the church. So they have this complete different culture down there and their own weird accent. In Adelaide, they talk like this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like Mary Poppins down there.
Yeah. I always give our Australian guests that come on the show a bad time about the chlamydia koalas. Mm-hmm. That's just hilarious.
Yeah, can you blame them? They're cute as a button.
Yeah, but I mean, they're giving it to each other and fucking all the time. I feel like you can hear them fucking in trees and shit.
Yeah, they really raise hell up in the canopy layer. And also, like when you hold a koala, they have a sex gland on their chest that secretes pheromones. What? So every picture you see of someone like holding that koala side saddle on their hip, they have to then throw their shirt away because it smells like pure marsupial sex once you get done holding that koala.
Oh, that's actually the perfume I wear. The koala I wear.
40% of the time it works. 20% of the time.
10%.
Yeah. And if it works on that lady, she's a freak. She's down for whatever. If she's like, ooh, what's that smell? And you're like, raw koala pheromone.
I'm going to spray that on me next time I go down to Spare Rhino. Not like they need any more encouragement. Anyway.
They really are just like birds to a feeder, aren't they?
Yeah. I've dated a couple. They're interesting in the bedroom.
Chris, you're dating dancers? You date dancers?
Yeah, I've dated strippers. I used to own a modeling agency, so I've dated quite a few different women.
Oh yeah, didn't Epstein come on as a client?
I didn't know him, but we tried to stick to 18 and older. That was kind of we're kind of legal that way.
Hey, I get it, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's either that or else you hang yourself in a prison cell. So,
allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah, that's true.
There's that video of that guy. That guy flew a drone over Epstein Island, and there was just a dude on the island who looked exactly like Jeffrey Epstein after he died. And everyone, well, this is not noteworthy. We don't need to worry about this.
We don't need to worry about this.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll ask Hillary Clinton what's up there. Anyway,
I'd like to ask Donald Trump how much fun it was to hang out with Jeffrey Epstein.
True. I love how they issue stuff about Epstein from the admin now that just came into power, but I haven't seen anything about Donald Trump's hanging out with Epstein yet, so it's kind of interesting how that works.
Yeah, it's crazy because there's all those pictures of them hanging out all the time.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
So as we go out, give us a final pitch for people to order up the books, see you on your tour dates, et cetera, et cetera.
Hey, I bet you've got $18. My book is $18. So why don't you spend it on a book for once instead of one tall coffee item and a tin of Zins? Yeah. Buy my book. You know what? It really impresses a potential lover. Let's say you're bringing over one of the many dancers that you entertain in your boudoir, Chris. And
boudoir, yeah.
Yeah, you've got that
one. That's amazing.
I know you're doing well. You know, every man of means has a boudoir.
Yeah.
You call it your sex cabin. but I call it a boudoir. But yeah, imagine, they come into your bedroom, you're wearing silk, you're laying on the bed smoking a cigar. On the bedside table, there's a Coke mirror and also a copy of my novel. They're going to be so impressed by one of those things.
By both, maybe.
Yeah. No, my book is really good. Shane Gillis loves it. Stanhope, Ron White, Mark Maron. Everyone loves it. You should buy it if you like comedy at all. Or even if you just like books, it's a good book too. And come see me live because everyone else is. Don't you want to fit in? You want to look like a loser next time Sam Tallent comes to town?
Don't have FOMO.
I'll be in Salt Lake City, by the way, at Wise Guys in August.
Oh, really? I'll have to come check you out.
Chris, you better come down, brother.
I spend my time between here and Vegas, so if you're up here, I've got a few friends that do Wise Guys that are local.
Who do you know?
There's Patrick. I'd have to go look him up, man. I'm horrible.
So they're good friends.
Yeah, they're good friends. I'm really bad with names and really good with faces, but they're not that close.
You're gonna forget my name, but you'll never forget this face, Chris.
I won't, Bob. I won't.
Look, I look like the moon.
You look like the moon?
Yeah, I look like a drawing of the wind. I'm on this fat guy medicine, Chris. I'm on Manjaro, and I'm just gonna have. Yeah, the medicine had to sound like Italian food, or I wouldn't take it. But I'm on Manjaro, and I'm wasting away.
Oh, I hate you then, because I tried to get on one of those weight loss pills and it didn't work. I actually gained 10 pounds.
You gained weight off the fat guy meds, Chris?
Yeah.
That sucks. Well, you got to quit hiding them in cheese.
Yeah. Oh, is that the problem?
Chris, if you want to talk to a very competent weight loss medicine doctor, I got one. I got all my fat friends on this medicine, and we're all just dropping lbs, and our skin is like giant kites.
Yeah, you're getting the what do they call that? The neck,
jowl,
the face. They call it Ozempic face, I think they call it, because your face starts to sag.
Yeah,
I lost so much weight intermittent fasting, and I would start getting this little gobbledygook down here.
Yeah, that's a slur, Chris. I did the intermittent fasting, and it worked while I was doing it. But then as soon as I quit doing it, my God, it flooded back.
Yeah, what a rip. Anyway, thank you very much for coming to the show.
You say what a rib?
What a rip.
Oh, rip. Nice. Yeah.
I'm from Gen X. So.
I thought you were using wrestling lingo, and I was excited for a minute.
All right. Do you have a hard on? Sam?
The medicine has so many side effects, Chris.
I still do. All right. Thank you very much, Sam, for coming to the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, samtallent.com, Running the Light. Chubby Behemoth is my podcast. Sam Tallent on YouTube. What's not to love?
Thanks for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss and all those crazy places we're on the internet. Order up Sam's book wherever fine books are sold, including Sam maybe being sold. Running the Light, a novel, out March 25th, 2025.
Pre-order now. Don't fail me, Voss Legion.
Yeah. Like, pre-order it now. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. And that should have us out, man.